So today we're going to do a postpartum ab workout, and so with postpartum ab workouts you want to avoid exercises that are going to cause further harm, and you want to find these safe exercises that will prevent the problems and get you back to where you were. So the muscle you want to target is a big muscle that kind of wraps around the side of your body, and you don't want to target the typical abs that people think about, the muscle running down the middle of your back. And so, big thing with postpartum is diastasis recti, which a lot of people have. Chloe here had it after our child that we had 2 years ago. You get it with the line coming down the middle of your stomach, very common. You've probably seen it before. And so how we diagnose this, we'll get Chloe to lay back here. Good. And you're going to take 2 fingers, and what you'll do is come right into the middle of her abs, and she's going to come into the beginning stages of a crunch. And so if I can fit 2 fingers in between the abdominal pouches that run down the middle of her stomach, that's going to be a positive test for diastasis recti. So you can relax. We want to avoid exercises that are going to increase this gap. We want to find the right exercises that will decrease this gap. So with that, let's get into it. So we're going to get right into it, but before we do, we want to talk about a few exercises that you do not want to do that are going to engage that big muscle in the front. So crunches are going to be a no-go. That's going to be a rectus abdominal fire. And then just the progression of that, the sit-up, also going to fire that rectus abdominis. And then a front plank, very popular exercise. You're keeping a stable spine, but again, you're firing that big muscle in the front. We want to avoid that in the beginning stages. And then a push-up. So push-up, yeah, we're working our chest, we're working our arms, but it's essentially a front plank. So you want to avoid that right now. So, exercises that we do want to do. I want to start by saying Chloe she had that line coming down her stomach. She had a little bit of diastasis recti, and it's very common. More women have it than don't. And so she has been able to conquer that. She no longer has it by her negative test that we just performed. And she is, returned to her previous form. So a few exercises that we can do to do that. We're going to start with what's called a posterior tilt with the transverse abdominis brace. So I'm going to pull her up here, and then essentially what we're going to do is rotate that pelvis back, and then we're going to concentrate on pulling our belly button in toward our spine. And so this is going to target that big transverse abdominis muscle that we talked about. Think of it as a corset muscle. So you think about women back in the old days, they wore these corsets that pulled everything in tight so they could fit into the dresses. They may still wear them, I don't know. I think there's different forms of it, but look at this muscle. It is essentially a corset. It's like they designed corsets to be this muscle, but it actually runs underneath the rectus abdominis, and it's going to pull everything tight. So underneath we're pulling everything tight, so we're pulling those abdominal pouches of the rectus abdominis together. So it's a good way to correct the rectus abdominis without firing it too soon. And so go ahead and show them that a few more times and really concentrate on pulling that belly button in toward the spine. I like to do 5-second holds 30 times with this exercise. So next, we're going to kind of progress this. You're going to grab that brace, same thing, and you're going to add a little march into it. So if you feel your spine trying to kick up and pull off the mat while you're doing that, you may not want to progress to this just yet because you're not bracing that trunk the way you need to. And then with this, we like to just do 30 reps on each leg. And these are very beginning stages ab workouts. I like to always say, let pain be your guide. If you're just a few days after the baby and you try this and it's painful, maybe just hold off a week or so. We'll see. Just kind of ease into this. I can't attest to the pain felt by pregnancy, but Chloe here can. So if we want to progress this exercise here, you can spread your knees. We can actually get this brace while squeezing this pad. And so what we're doing is we're engaging our adductor region So we're strengthening our pelvic floor. And so that pelvic floor, you know, obviously it goes through a lot with delivering a baby. And another thing you don't want to forget about is doing your Kegel exercises. Kegel, tomato. You don't want to neglect those post-pregnancy. And that's about as deep as I want to go with that. Chloe can probably tell you more about that than I can. So with the squeezes, we want to do 10-second holds 10 times with that. All right, looks good. So next exercise we want to do, I like to call this a side plank. So Chloe's going to go ahead and get in position. If you're just starting these exercises, we're going to start with the modified version with your knees bent on the mat here. And all she's going to do is pick herself up. And so we're engaging that transverse abdominis on this side. You know, it seems like a pretty advanced exercise, but you know, we're engaging the muscle that we want to engage, and we're not engaging the rectus abdominis. So we're safe here. And then with this exercise, we like to do 10-second holds 10 times. If you got shoulder problems, this may not be a good one for you. It may irritate that. Then that looks good. All right. So we'll get right into the next one. So the next exercise we want to show you is some kickouts, and then Chloe's going to show us that one. So we're going to stand up, getting our toes pretty close to a wall. That's going to make you stand upright. And we're simply going to kick our leg out to the side. So I like to do 10-second holds 10 times, and you can alternate legs with this. Big thing you want to watch out for doing this exercise is letting your trunk lean way to the side. Yeah, if your core is a little bit weak, your hips are a little bit weak, that core, you're going to want to do that. You want to stay nice up nice and tight, upright, and perform this exercise. Again, 10-second hold 10 times. We're engaging these hip muscles. You're really going to want to get those back post-op, because your hips have a lot to do with your trunk stability and your overall stability. Easy exercise. We're not straining any of the muscles that we don't want to strain. You can do this anywhere that you have a wall. Really easy to do. If you feel this more in your hips than in your core, that's perfectly fine. All right. That's going to wrap it up. That's going to be all the exercises. I hope you find this video helpful. I hope Chloe's return to her previous form motivates you. She's done a really good job. She had that line coming down the middle, and she's, you know, didn't take her long at all. So if this is the kind of content that you want to see, that you are interested in, please like and subscribe. Liking the video goes a long way to keep them coming, and we'll see you next time with Body Talk.